Chastity, the social media influencer and rockstar killer. Maria, from Miami. And Lucy, aspiring actress. Sydney, hip-hop lover and writer, so I'm told. And my quiet one, Mackenzie. Well, hello, ladies. I'm Bella. I have a question for everyone. Why do you think rich men cheat? Control.
I'm going home.
Don't go.
Attention.
You bring the total package to the table. You just need the right friends.
Are you my friend?
No, but you can be mine.
And power.
I stuck my neck out for you.
Thank you!
And I pulled the strings to get you onto this show.
Take all three away, and he becomes desperate.
So, what's with the apples?
Well, it represents knowledge, wisdom, beauty, and power. Here, you will learn how to gain ownership of all.
I'm gonna send you the money for the ticket, and I already have your room set up at the Palms.
You do that, babe.
Because once you have possession of the apple, no man alive will have power over you.
You make it sound so easy.
Oh, it's not easy.
Brett, look, I'm sorry.
Save it! Save it!
I get no auditions.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
I get no callbacks.
I really need to get upstairs. They stole all my money.
I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you're no better than the rest of us.
Right now they have a do not disturb until this afternoon. If they call you, great.
How is he gonna call me if he doesn't?
If not, charge it to the game.
Make no mistake, ladies. In order to succeed in this game, you must be willing to play it out till the very end.
This business is all types of savage.
What are you doing?
But if you follow my blueprint, I guarantee you will become a millionaire within the next 3 years. Possibly way earlier. So, are you ready to take that step?
Another day, another dollar. Ain't about money, don't you holla. 100 miles and racing, and that money conversation been my only motivation, yeah.
I'm Yoshi Lomax, superstar attorney at law and fugitive.
So, you're the famous Yoshi Lomax.
Probably more infamous. I'm on the run from the federal government for crimes that I didn't commit.
Gentlemen, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Sharon Starr. I'll be taking things from here.
Not to mention being on the hit list of at least 3 of Miami's major crime bosses.
I wanted to apologize in person for leaving so abruptly last night.
Welcome back.
That's Vladimir Kuznetsov, a Russian crime boss. He's been a suspect in over a dozen missing person cases.
I mean, I didn't get here to be this successful for doing things the American way.
I need a list of the jury for my case with Hanju.
Oh, really? What's that worth to you? Oh my God, you're such a... Mr. Santana is to be released upon processing.
So what do you know about Sheldon Chisholm?
What do you want to know about him?
I really need to know if you're going to take my case. I don't have time to play, Miss Lomax.
Money is not a problem.
You know anything about his case?
It's being handled by agents in my field office.
I've learned that in this game of life, in order to win...
Ready to dance?
You gotta play dirty. You might look at me and see a beautiful, confident, successful woman.
Congratulations, counselor. Yet another win.
But underneath, I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm scared. so I have no choice but to run. Until I can find a way to clear my name.
Miss Lomax is now considered a fugitive of the United States. Catching fugitives is my business, which makes her my suspect. You and your associates are relieved.
Look, she killed one of our own.
But I will not give up.
All right, people, listen up. Get a picture of Miss Lomax out there so the public knows what she looks like.
I will not give in.
Okay. People, we got a game plan. Let's break and execute.
I will not get caught.
Time to go hunt.
Up, y'all, this is Rayon Lawrence, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Catherine Nunez, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director and the Council on the IE Network.
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Dupree, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
It's Vicky Judy, Orange is the New Black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Frida Parks, and you're listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Nothing more, nothing less. What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I'm the Director. Be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. And Real Talk is brought to you for each and every Monday by, whoa, there it is, 2S Media. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on youtube.com/IE Network TV. The IE Network. Oh, man. And, of course, Facebook, a.k.a. Meta, the social network itself, and Twitter. What up, people? We are, well, at least I am, 24 hours away, not even, from watching the new, what's the new name for Mission Impossible? Was it Dead Reckoning, Rose Protocol? I forget them all now. The new Tom Cruise joint. It comes out tomorrow. I think officially tomorrow it launches and then it just plays on. So the new Mission Impossible, like Mission Impossible 7, I don't know. And should be good. We're also going to go over being that's like one of, I think right now that's probably not the last, but one of the last big films in the first part of the summer. You know, we could talk about some upcoming midsummer big dogs, you know, or things that, you know, we want to see and talk about. Maybe even a little bit of fall stuff. But yeah, Mission Impossible is probably one of the bigger, if not the last biggest, in my opinion, release. But we'll see. We'll see what other people, but there's a lot of other good stuff going on. Also, we'll talk briefly about the Rust Armorer Rust shooting update. There's been a little bit of an update with the Armorer. We'll talk a little bit about that. Jamie Foxx has made an appearance finally on like a yacht somewhere. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. It's good to see Jamie Foxx alive, out and about. You could tell, obviously, he's still recovering from whatever it is that he's recovering from, because Jamie Foxx is a talker. He likes to talk. So the fact that he ain't in front of a microphone talking, my opinion tells me that he's just not there yet. But we wish him well here at Real Talk, and pretty soon, hopefully, we'll see him back, to regular form. We'll talk about a little bit about that. Also, in trending topics, of course, this actress, not talk show, but game show host Keke Palmer has made so much headlines this weekend, or past through the week, whatever day it happened. She went on down to the Ursha resident, that he does down there. What's it called? His oh man, I can't think of the name they use, but his concerts that he does all over there in Vegas, and made quite the uproar. Well, really, it wasn't her. It was, her there, and Usher, as he always does, decides to serenade her like he does pretty much every night to people. And yeah, she liked it. She got into it. He was giving, she was giving back. And then bang, here comes the tweets. First of all, internet. Oh, look at her. Isn't she a mother? Don't she have a baby daddy? Don't she have a boyfriend? Oh, God. They just be going, boy. And then what happens? The boyfriend, baby daddy, whatever the hell he is, takes the bait. And then he's sitting there. I got morals. You're a mother. Why are you wearing those things? Jesus Christ. Stop, man. Stop putting your business on the streets, man. Crazy. They just wouldn't stop. Well, I tell people all the time, in this life, period, if you use the social media, the internet, and you're going to choose to live your life in front of it, you got to have thick skin. You can't let people, especially if it's something that's could be minuscule. Some people, now everyone had their opinions. Some people thought it was disrespectful because what she was wearing. And we'll go a little more in depth into it when I bring in the counsel. So some people thought that. Some people thought he was warranted with his, claims. But I mean, you just can't let the internet is going to try to be messy on everything, especially social media. So with all of those trolls going, or those people starting trying to be messy, saying, "Oh, look at what she wearing. Look at this. Oh man, Usher's all up on her. Does she got a boyfriend? Don't she got a boyfriend? Did she just have a baby? Oh, Can't let it happen, man." And he's right there responding. Oh, I got morals. I mean, come on, man. You can't let this imaginary world called the internet, called the social media, dictate what's happening to you right now in the world. Lord have mercy. We'll get back to that. So cats is like, they're like, oh, he didn't. And they just kept, and the trolls, they're going to keep, picking away at him. Now you got people defending her, which is fine. He's insecure. He's this. He hasn't bring anything to the table. Now he's got to start, defended himself. Oh no, it's not that. It's like, what are y'all doing, man? Are you really trying to argue with like a gazillion people on social media? Like, relax, dude. And then Kiki has to say what she got to say, makes it worse. So we'll talk about that. There's some other things going on too that we'll bring up. Sarah Silverman is suing OpenAI. They are, and Meta. They are OpenAI are the creators of ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence app that people, pretty much everyone's using. It's being integrated in everything. Allegedly for copyright infringement. So we'll go a little bit into that. So this is the first lawsuit. Now, when you read or when you heard and was first told about ChatGPT, you were told that infringement is not a possibility because it's just not. And they're not going to use or pull there's a different sort of infringement, I believe, but like it ain't be like plagiarism. This is copyright infringement. It's not the same as plagiarism, right? Plagiarism is just literally taking somebody else's literary work. But this is copyright infringement. So talk a little about that. Deadpool news. We got a little Hugh Jackman in his Wolverine costume. He looks like the Wolverine costume, comic accurate. Talk about that. And yeah, we'll talk a lot of stuff, man. We got some more things to bring up. Like I said, I definitely wanted to touch on these, but we'll go to our weekend recap brought to you by BoxOfficeMojo.com. And top 5 movies of this last weekend. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, number 5, 8 million more it pulled in. Number 4, Elemental, brought in 10 million. Number 3, Sound of Freedom, 19.7 million. Number 2, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, brought in another 27 million, which is still at a very low 122 million domestic, 200 and almost right under 250 million worldwide. Okay. And number 1 is Insidious, The Red Door, brought in 33 million this weekend. Total of 64 million worldwide thus far. As you can see, no sign of The Flash. Lordy. I think The Flash has even dropped out of the top 10. I just did the top 5. There's still, you got Joyride, No Hard Feelings, Transformers Rise of the Beast, The Little Mermaid at 9, and Ruby Gilman, Teenage Kraken, at number 10. The Flash falls to number 11, only grossed $2.2 million over this last weekend, bringing the total. They just finally passed 100 million domestically, brings the total worldwide to 262 million. Oh my God, that's just terrible. And that is your weekend recap brought to you at BoxOfficeMojo.com. You're listening and watching Real Talk with the Jedi Council and the director. I'm the director, in case you didn't know. And I brought my Jedi Council with me. You don't believe me? Well, here they go. Ralph, Kev, y'all's in the book.
Hello, good people.
Hello, good people. So, shout out to the chat room, by the way. Maddie, what's good, girl?
What's good, everybody?
You're here early today. All right.
Come walk by night.
Oh God! Don't even start. Yo, I don't know where Heaven Hollywood is, but don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Heaven Hollywood drops in on us just so he could, read us the riot act for letting Moonlighting slip into the Final Four last tournament.
Hey,
I'm like, oh,
it is what it is. Crying. It is what it is. Stop
Castor in the
crying.
building. Shout out, my brother. Where's the Indiana Jones buzz? He said, I don't know what Indiana Jones buzz is, bruh. It ain't nowhere because it ain't really making no buzz out there. Who else? Oh wow. See, yo, Kev, I think you was right. I think Joseph abandoned us after that tournament.
He's not on.
I don't see him in there. No, Joseph. Joseph was tight. I didn't see him at least. Is this Hev?
Oh man, Joseph,
He said, "Is
come
this
back
Hev?"
home.
No, this is Wes. I'm Hev's brother. Welcome to the show, Compulsive Media. Stick around. This is Real Talk. We talk about films and TV and things like that. Welcome to the show. Yeah, man. Joseph has said, I'm done. Yo, man, we're gonna lose our biggest fan, our biggest supporter because y'all couldn't get your votes right. I say y'all, I'm pulling myself out of this. Yeah.
Man,
I was talking to him.
It was what it was, man. It was what it was.
I'm talking to Heaven Hollywood. And he says, Heaven Hollywood says to me, what the F was y'all thinking? I said, what do you mean? He's like, yo, he pulled me down with y'all, by the way. Y'all in here, you put moonlighting.
Enough to talk about.
Moonlighting. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. I was like, yo, I threw y'all under the bus ASAP. I was like, that had nothing to do with me, bro. That was them. I said, as a matter of fact, I tried to pull Moonlighting off the list before we even started, and they wouldn't let me. I remember I was like, yo, maybe we should take Moonlighting off because I knew in the back of my mind that is not a very popular that's not a very popular theme song.
No, it isn't, but that's the thing. It is a popular show. It's
exactly.
Just that,
it's a popular show, but we're not doing the best shows. We were doing the best theme songs. So
but still,
the Moonlighting theme song is a charted single.
It doesn't matter if it's a charted single. It's not a popular theme song.
Wait.
Let me finish. I'll tell you how. And this is the data that my brother Heaven Hollywood brought to me. He said, I scoured the internet for similar lists that you guys did, the top theme songs of all time. He said, I must have came about between 6 to 10 lists. He said, I went through white publications like Rolling Stone and, other stuff, whatever other ones he said. I also went to black publications like whatever he said, Essence or whatever. He named some black publications. He said, I got the list in front of me. He's like, nowhere on any of those lists was Moonlighting. Not one time.
Oh.
He said, none of them. He said, so I don't understand why y'all even had it on your list. He said, now, most of the stuff y'all had, Sanford and Son was in the top 5 on almost every list. Jefferson's was in the top 5 on almost every list. Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, was in the top 5 to top 3 on every list. And he was like, Moonlighting was nowhere to be found anywhere. He said, nowhere to be found on any of the lists. Not even in, they did like top 50, they did top 10. There's all different numbers, right? So that's what he was telling me. I was like, listen, I knew in the back of my mind when we first had Moonlighting up there and we were looking through the list, and I was like, what are we gonna take off to put in some of these honorable mentions that we missed? And I was like, I did say, well, maybe we should take Moonlighting off. I was like, no. So I was all right, cool.
But that's the whole crux of the
all I gotta say
of the matter.
It is what it is. Baiting it because it's relevant.
It is what it is, but I'm just saying, y'all.
It was on ours. And just the luck of the draw that Kevin and I, and actually it was for the same reason we didn't want to see him get swept. But
no, Kevin was always gonna vote for him. Kevin was gonna vote for Algebra always. You were the one who said you didn't want to get swept, so you went first, and you go ahead and said it because you thinking you don't want to get swept. I'm just like, oh my god, man, this is funny.
But here's the thing, it might not be on everybody's list,
It ain't on no correction, Kev. It's on no one's list. So go ahead.
But see, and I you know what? And I really find that to be a problem because that show was pretty much a staple when it was on. I mean,
it staple.
It was. It was a staple. It was a water cooler. It was also a water cooler moment, and I'm gonna let Ralph finish from there.
Well, I mean, but once again, we're talking about the show, which once again proves the point that theme song really didn't mean much because the show was great, but no one remembers.
Ralph,
no one remembers the theme song, bro. No one.
No one. So listen,
you two.
Jesse Jackson said, "I am somebody." So I'm someone.
Except you two. Okay. Everyone else. That's compiled list.
Don't you remember it? You remember it. Your brother remembers it.
Well, okay. No one else. Let me rephrase that. No one else deemed it worthy to put on their list.
And I told.
And I'm not even gonna say I ain't even putting myself in it. You guys, because I wanted to take it off.
But I mean,
once again, it doesn't matter. We're not trying to be like everybody else. If I thought that the song was up there, right? Because we were going with TV songs, and I thought this song, and you felt then why am I concerned with what some other?
I said it should come
somebody else thought. But why am I concerned with what someone else thought? Because I'm quite sure we had theme songs.
No, because
I'm quite sure we had theme songs that either people forgot about, right? Damn, I never heard of before, or I never watched the show. Sorry.
So what's the point of that?
That's just
how we doing the top theme songs if you counting on people that never watched the shows. Or have never heard the theme songs. Then that's not the most popular theme songs of all time.
No,
if they never heard it.
But not necessarily. I mean, we had Sha-La-La on there. I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of people who don't remember that.
That was on plenty of the list. The Family Ties theme song. That was on plenty of the list. My point is, obviously, it turned out the way it turned out.
Listen, I'm quite.
It makes it look a little bogus. Put it that way.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
No,
hold on. Are you? Wait. Now, hold on now. Hold on now. Hold on now. Hold on now. Now he's in his bag, Ralph. He's back in his feelings again.
I'm doing this.
Now he's quit. So now,
you see this? I'm making a P. This is what they do. This is what they do in baseball. Protest. You put the P.
So now.
Go ahead, Kev.
So what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? That Alex will give us a lifetime order of blacks or something? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, the P means that's a sports term in baseball when a play happens and the the team manager doesn't agree with it.
He
puts the P. It's protest. They protested the play.
No, listen. And the funny thing is, he was on.
It is what it is. That's all I'm ever going to say. It is what it is.
Yeah,
and
it is.
There's a lot of other theme songs.
Just a little bit. It kind of.
No, it doesn't, because
a little bit.
Because there are a lot of shows that we did not put there that was like, I'm sitting here right now. I'm looking at this thing. We did not put up the theme song from Who's the Boss. I totally forgot about New York Undercover, because that should have been up there. So it is what it was. It was a list. It was 64. It wasn't 1,064. It was 64.
It was 64.
Right. The same, and I could say
the
same. You look at that
doing his.
Hold it, but the same way I could sit there and say, that the song from Sopranos.
What about it?
It shouldn't have, but it did. It was what it was.
Yeah, that was a joke. You could thank Joseph for that. You could thank Joseph for that and his taste for the dark meat. He loved him some black women, boy, Joseph. And that happened to go up against a black woman, Brandy, and he was like, Brandy. I felt the same way. I was like, Brandy had no business be in that theme song. And Brandy's theme song was cool for both to the eat to the.
But here's the thing though. The other reason why that won anyway is because when I heard the Sopranos theme song, when you played it, I didn't even know what it was. Because I never watched the show, or at the very least, I never watched the show from the beginning. You know, maybe I've turned the channel when I had cable, and and watched it like in the middle of the show. But as far as watching it from the beginning, I never did that.
Right. I mean, you probably have some people here that says, well, you got like. What was that? The Mandalorian. We played The Mandalorian. People was like, "Yo, what is that?" A lot of people have never seen the show, so should it have been on the all-time top? It's all a matter of someone's opinion. If Moonlighting was on the list, okay, and you say, "Well, nobody remember it." Yo, I'm looking at it right now. It's a top 30 hit. It was a top 30 hit when it came out.
Talking about
right? Music. It's a number one adult contemporary, which is
you're talking about
CD 101.9. They played on there.
You're talking music.
Yes, CD 101.9.
Wait a minute. What is ain't a theme song music?
Yeah, but it's not. But I told you this before, Kev. We debated this before, and this proves my point. The fact that it didn't make no one else's list talking about theme songs. That is not how you judge a theme song, just by how good it sounds. That's not how it's judged. Let's see what Geekcaster says. A good theme song should have the sound, vibe, lyrics, should explain the essence of the show. That was
and it does.
That's his opinion of that. Well, I don't really know if that song explains the essence of the show.
By night.
No, I'm just saying like the vibe of it. The vibe of
it is the vibe.
That vibe of the Moonlighted song doesn't fit that show. That show was an action drama. That show was an action drama with a little.
It absolutely does fit it. It did have a it did Will Smith. Will Smith and Cheryl, what was her name, Ralph?
You've dropped off for a second, Ralph. We lost.
Him and old girl, they had that chemistry that was there, but they would never, it was always like, when are they gonna kiss? When are they?
Well, of course, yeah, they of course they're gonna do that with the whole thing. But if you look at the show Moonlighting in the feel and texture of the actual show, that vibe does not fit that show.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does fit the show.
Not the vibe of the song.
Yes, it does. Absolutely does. Absolutely does.
But like I said, hey, it is what it is, right? I at least I know. I feel better knowing that I ain't crazy for trying to take it off the list. I was like, that shit ain't one of the top theme songs as far as that goes.
Listen,
I'm not alone.
Listen, that show was the show was very impactful.
The show. You keep talking about the show. I'm not talking.
Listen, but it doesn't matter. The show, the theme song as well. The theme song was on CD 101.9. How could it not be impactful? Obviously, it had an impact if it made it to the radio.
Yeah, it's impactful. Yeah, as a song, it made it to the radio.
Oh
right,
my God! It's called a theme song, right?
It's the song that they use as a theme song.
Oh, here we go now. Here we go now, boy. Listen, somebody, oh my God, somebody get him a tampon for his feelings.
I'm telling you,
Jesus
bro,
Christ.
I'm just happy that I'm not alone. I'm just happy that I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy,
bro. Listen, the bottom line is it's a charted theme song.
It was a charted single song.
But listen, it's a theme song that charted. It was on a show. It was a theme.
As a matter of fact, we kind of there was other songs on that list that did the same thing that we left off, like "You Belong to the City." You know, we're like,
but there's come on now. Here you go now. We said we wanted that to be on, and you about both agreed. Well, that wasn't really the theme song of the show. That was just it was just a popular song that started off with the one episode. So come on, don't do that. Don't do that. Listen, don't make us start rolling back the tape.
I welcome it.
Don't make us start rolling back the tape.
And y'all check out there the shorts that we put out there, where we were just having a good old time, just cracking up. Me and my feelings again, them laughing at me protesting. You guys are crazy. So, yeah,
you and poor homegirl over there.
Yeah, that was no nonsense. It was like, I'm done. I'm breaking up with Ralph.
I already wasn't shit, so I'm absolutely nothing now.
Oh man,
wow,
that's funny.
Like I said, end of the day, it is what it is. There's nothing you can unless you want to. Because that's the case, we could sit there. We could probably go through every single one and say, "Hold up, this isn't right," because this song is more popular.
It ain't about it being more popular.
Well, because this song was more popular.
But here's the deal, Ralph. You admit yourself, it wasn't even really your opinion that it was better than the Fresh Prince song. You did it for the wrong reasons. So you're the real culprit.
I am not the culprit. I am not the culprit at all.
You are.
I am
at
not
least Kev said it with his chest, because that's what he.
I am not the culprit at all.
You're the culprit trying to show some sympathy to Al.
But wait, hold.
You can't say neither, because did I or did not also show sympathy to Aretha Franklin? Because I said I didn't want her to get swept.
Right.
So I'm doing the exact.
Yeah, exactly.
So no. You're not going to say, well, it was cool for Aretha, but wrong for Al. No,
it was. No. In that case, it was.
No,
you wouldn't have did that. You wouldn't have did that for Aretha if she was up against the Fresh Prince.
Listen, I love the way Ralph said it. He was like, "Oh damn, damn."
Yeah, that shit was hilarious. I was like, yo, it was just like the Twilight Zone. It just like went and happened. I was just like, what is happening?
Like that.
What's happening right now?
But see, it just like that. Like we did not have the Twilight Zone up there. I think that is
Twilight Zone was up there. It was in the list.
It was on the list.
I'm sorry. But like I said, we did not have the theme song to Who's the Boss.
Mm-hmm.
We did not have the theme song to New York Undercover. And the one that I said I really felt it should have been there was the theme song to The Muppet Show. Yeah, it should have been up there.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
Too.
It was what it was.
Because technically speaking, The Muppet Show was prime time.
It was a prime time
Yes, it
show.
was.
It was a prime time show.
multiple times. And when they
Well,
kept bringing it back on, they kept putting using the exact same thing. So yeah, it should have been up there, but
it wouldn't have went
What was
nowhere. It
outvoted?
wouldn't have
Cry?
went nowhere, Ralph, because it wasn't a charting hit.
Doesn't matter. Because you are using the same term. You're using the same thought process with Moonlighting that you do for Montreal. We'll just put it up there and it'll get beat by somebody.
Ralph, don't feed the beast. He's in his feelings. Do not feed the beast because you just going.
I'm just saying, you think about it's a charted. Moonlighting was a charted hit. But nobody remembers it or respects it as a theme song.
See, here we go.
It don't matter. That don't matter.
Apparently,
that does not matter one bit. If anybody respects it, the point of the matter is simply this: it doesn't matter what research says. If it
wait a minute, Ralph. Say that again for the people in the bleachers.
It doesn't matter what research says. Okay.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because simply because research doesn't put up there, does the TV song exist from the show? Yes, it does.
Yes,
was it a charted single? Yes, it was. Was it? So those two factors alone, there's no denying it. Whether someone seems to sit to say, "Oh, well, we need to put it up there," that's a matter of their opinion. Opinion,
right? But is everybody wrong? Can everybody be wrong? Everybody
can.
Every list
they can.
Every person.
Sure they can. Sure they can. Sure.
Well, I was at that point. I thought I literally thought y'all were gonna push that to the finals because I was just like, how is it beating this? Y'all must be. But then that's when you told me, oh, I was just doing it because I didn't want him to get swept. I was like, oh, y'all gonna push this damn song to the finals. This something. But
sorry, that's why it's called Cutthroat. You never know. Listen, once again, the Soprano song got knocked out in the first round. It should have been in the top 10. It should have been in the final 4, but it wasn't. I can't cry about it. It was what it was.
It is what it is.
If I had my way, Shallow Allah would have definitely been
in the top 2.
Well,
yeah, Ralph, you could tell by the laugh. He's still in. Stop watching those.
That's like Wes. I tell you like this. If we did that if we did the same thing for greatest theme song from a movie, and your song "Don't Forget About Me" is not even in the top 40. You feel like, oh, whoa, what the hell? So memorable. It's memorable to you.
No, but that song is memorable to a whole lot of people other than me.
But wait. What I'm saying is this one: if it wasn't in the top 40, you would feel so comfortable. Say, but it wasn't. The paperwork, the research said, well, to us, it wasn't that memorable. But you say, hold up, yes, it really is.
Damn.
What's the difference?
Yeah,
the difference is. The truth is the truth, and fiction is fiction. Fact is fact.
It ain't no
the fact
no
that
fiction.
nobody had that song or considered it.
Again, we are somebody, and you are included in the somebody.
Because I did not want it on there. I wanted to take it off, so I ain't included in that somebody.
It is what it is. Sorry, heaven, but it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it.
Well, like I said, hey man, it taints our list a little bit. That's okay.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't take our list one single thing. What it makes us, I tell you what it actually makes us. It makes us seem like we're thinking outside the box. We're looking at all the, not just stuff that's super commercial.
No, it looks like we're just going with what we just like this song, so let's push it along.
But it was come on, bro. Oh my God, get up! Oh Jesus Christ!
Stop it! Yeah, stop it!
Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
Let's push this song along. We like Al Jarreau. I loved his McDonald's commercial. You give me McDonald's. I got the taste for McDonald's.
The bottom line is, Al Jarreau did the damn thing. The song fit the show. It was a
Debatable.
good song, and
Good
it
song.
was a
That's
top
no
charting
doubt.
song.
No doubt. Good song. Really good song. Fits the show. Debatable. That
Yeah,
show was
fits
that
the
show was
show.
it was an action drama / comedy show. There's no action in that song. That song is very smooth. It's a smooth vibe.
But that's
Nothing
what the
smooth
show.
about
But
Bruce Willis.
Well, hell, let's be clear that song from Taxi was smooth. Where did we get this movie from driving a taxi cab?
Exactly. And that's why it didn't go far.
I mean, really.
That's why it didn't go far. It landed where it landed. Exactly. My point proven. Thanks, Ralph. So let's move on.
No, it doesn't prove anything.
That was another song that charted and was a charting song. CD
song, yeah.
But I bet you there's a whole bunch of people. But I bet you there's a whole bunch of people that don't even know that song was from the. Not only
but
does they know who,
I bet
who
you
did
that
it.
song. I bet you that song was on some of those lists.
Well, listen, the AI picked it and put it where it needs to be. In the conversation.
Perfect segue. Perfect segue. Sarah Silverman is suing OpenAI. She's doing a lawsuit against OpenAI, who actually is the creators of ChatGPT.
Wait, Sarah Silverman, the comedian?
Yeah, because she had a book. She's released a book. She's also an author, and they're suing them for copyright infringement. I was reading this earlier, and it's a different type of copyright infringement because it was saying something about the AI. Let me see if I can find that blurb where they had there. It's something about it listed certain things from it and without their permission or something like that. It wasn't it's not a plagiarism situation. It says an OpenAI suit, the trio offers exhibits showing that when prompted, ChatGPT will summarize their books, infringing on their copyrights. So I guess if someone put in ChatGPT, hey, I want to know about Sarah Silverman's book, whatever it's called, could you give me a cliff notes of it or something like that? And I guess ChatGPT was able to do that. So with that being said, they're using that as you're infringing on my copyright because it's a reach, but
and listen. The thing that I would love to reach for is Sarah Silverman's legs. That woman's hands off. That woman is, oh my God, she is. She is. She is, man. And that's a far reach, boy.
It's a reach, but let's see. Her book was called The Bedwetter. That was her book. It's the first book being summarized. Okay, yeah. So it was summarized by ChatGPT, and they're using that as saying it was.
But how? When you sell your book on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles or whatever, they do a brief summary.
Mm-hmm.
So is that you never claim plagiarism?
Exactly. They exactly. ChatGPT is the AI is going to pull from what's already out there. So who knows? Maybe it pulled from that. We don't know. It could have pulled from a summary that was already. I think it's a reach, but they are.
But on top of all of that, all right. Let's just say if it didn't pull from Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, or any of that. Mm-hmm. Let's just say if the AI took the book, actually did whatever AI does, read the book, and then did what Barnes and Nobles and all of these other places do. That when they advertise your book online, you get a brief summary of what the book is. So if I'm a judge, I'm like, come back on Tuesday because you ain't getting no hamburger today. There's nothing here for you. And again, there must be some other particulars that they're trying to throw in there.
There's a lot of things in there, but that's the main thing because they're calling it a copyright infringement. So because I know when ChatGPT was first introduced, they were saying there's no possible way you could create on this and it'd be plagiarism. You know what I mean? They said not, but this is not a plagiarism thing. People should know, plagiarism is more of like.
But we should read the definition of what plagiarism is, just so people are clear.
It's basically, I could bring up the definition of plagiarism, but it's really, that's more so on a specific work, altogether. Like basically just straight taking someone else's work and rewriting it, rewording it in your own words,
and saying that it's mine. Oh yeah, right. I did that. You know what I'm saying? It's like
kind of like what what's her name, Joy Beyer did when she directed Love Don't Cost a Thing and tried to act like it was not Can't Bobby Love all over again. But but she, that was just an interview.
Well, what I'm seeing here is that she's suing them for using her copyright content without permission to train artificial intelligent language models. I guess using her book to teach AI how to speak.
No, I don't think
so.
That's what it says here.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm reading. I know what you're reading, but I'm just saying I'm not sure. I don't think that's what it means. I mean, literally, she said, in another article.
Well, let's talk about reverse. I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off.
Chat.
Repeat that part, what you just said about teaching the AI how to speak.
Yeah, that's what it says. It says comedian Sarah Silverman and two authors have filed copyright infringement lawsuits against the platforms and OpenAI for allegedly using their content without permission to train artificial intelligent language models. The proposed class action lawsuit filed by Silverman, Richard Cadre, and Christopher Golden in San Francisco alleged Facebook parent company Meta and ChatGPT maker OpenAI use copyright material to train chatbots. It says the lawsuit underscores legal risk developers of chatbots face when they use troves of copyright material to create apps that deliver realistic responses to user prompts. So I don't know, but is this like how they put together Siri?
Yeah, it's like just like any with all AI definitely needs human interaction or human whatever to perfect it, right? Because the thing with AI, like I was listening the other day, I was playing something came across social media. And my wife was like, "Oh, what's that?" I was listening. I said, "That's AI talking. Sound like a regular guy." And she was like, "How you know?" I was like, "Just listen to the voice pattern. Listen to the speech pattern of it. It wasn't robotic, but it wasn't fluid like a human. It was, and just the way it pronounced certain words. That's probably what they're talking about. They're taking, in order to kind of quote unquote train this AI to be more perfect, you have to dump data into it in different ways things are said. They have different words and phrases and the way they're said. And they even have to have humans do it, like speak it as well. So with that being said, that's probably what they're talking about. You got to take different things to try to like put the data. So just like I said this to Kev offline too, when it comes to like motion capture, right? The reason why people use, because you have the technology now to make an AI version of any of us, right?
Yeah.
And we're sitting here on our show. I'm moving my hand like this, but it's not going to be as fluid unless someone puts on a motion capture, and it could be anyone. It doesn't have to be me. Could put on a motion capture suit and do this.
And then
do
just
my
overlay
mannerisms. Do the mannerisms so it's smoother. So instead of the hand being like here and the next it's here or here, you actually see the flow of it moving because the motion capture gives it the data that it needs to make it seem realistic. So that's kind of like what they're talking about, I believe, when they say the training, quote unquote, to speak, so to speak.
But again, you're going to lose that battle.
If your book is public, record, if it's out there and it could be gotten to or whatever, I don't know how that's going to work for them.
Yeah, if I'm basically if I'm teaching, that's like me teaching my daughter how to read, and I take Sarah Silverman's book to teach her how to read, and now I can understand maybe, and this is a stretch, if they're teaching their AI how to talk and how to enunciate stuff, and they're physically using Sarah Silverman's voice to do that. Then there might be an argument there.
Right.
But you really can't get, if you have Granny Smith from Fulton Street come and read Sarah Silverman's book to the AI, so the AI can pick up emotion as it's reading, because any computer can read back anything that you feed to it, but it's the emotion part. Like you said, you could tell that it's missing something, and that's what it's missing. It's missing the nuances of speech.
Yeah. So, and sorry, Kev, I wanted to bring that definition just so people know the difference between that and plagiarism. Plagiarism is simply the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as your own. That's plagiarism. That's not what it was. Copyright infringement, on the other hand, is when a copyrighted work is reproduced, distributed, performed, publicly displayed, or made into a derivative work without the permission of the copyright owner. So that's what they're leaning on. They're saying one of these things, it has to be one of these things that happen, right? I was dead in the middle of a copyright infringement case, before the man passed away. Rest in peace to that man. But I was in the middle of a copyright infringement case with forgot his name, John Singleton, because my lawyer told me these same things. If it was reproduced, distributed, performed, publicly displayed, made into a derivative work, that's the one she was talking about. Made into a derivative work without the permission of the copyright owner. So they're gonna have to lean on one of those things.
But I'm just trying to figure out which one they're gonna lean on, because even
probably, I guess maybe publicly displayed, made into a derivative work, maybe if they're using it for something else. I don't know.
Well, again,
it wasn't distributed, it wasn't performed,
right,
per se. It wasn't publicly displayed,
but even made into a derivative work, even that's kind of sort of a stretch, because what's the definition of a derivative work? You know what I'm saying? If they're building and a platform to give a response back to a person. Let's just say it's Siri, for example. Then how is that really a derivative work when it's really just like me talking to you? Basically, I'm like, Siri, do whatever, or Alexa, do whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I mean, I don't know how far they're gonna get with it. They're gonna have to have some sort of real proof. One thing I do know from being in my copyright, about to do, I wasn't in it. We didn't get a chance to get it started, but she the lawyer, big up to her, she really schooled me on the three different things that has to be proven. It's not easy to prove that, right? There's certain things you have to prove. Obviously, opportunity, and obviously the opportunity is there, I guess, because the chat GPT can pretty much scour the internet for what it wants. There's I forgot the three things that she was telling me, but it's basically say you have to have that opportunity. Like, so with me in an instance, completely different. It's with my film Rebel, the opportunity was there because I had to show proof that there was even a possibility. The proof of possibility is the fact that I had met John Singleton. I had proof of it. I had pictures with him. And the proof of opportunity was I also had pictures with him showing him my film Rebel. So, so there's the proof that I gave him Rebel because I gave it to him with the picture. and, and then there was another one that she said, but we have to see how this falls. We'll see how this falls. I mean, just the fact of they using her stuff, and she's just as AI is not in the favor of anybody right now as far as like writers and even actors. They're like I said, the Screen Actors Guild is still on the verge of striking.
Well, they've been looking for a reason to strike anyway. So
so they
this
found one. Yeah. So then you got
tomorrow.
Huh?
Tomorrow.
What about tomorrow?
That's
the
supposed
deadline?
to be like, I think tomorrow night is their deadline.
That's the deadline. Yeah. They the bottom line is I was talking with an actor. She works on Abbott Elementary, and she was saying a lot of the actors are already out there standing in solidarity with the writers. Especially almost the entire cast of Abbott Elementary is out there on the picket lines and stuff like that. She's like the main cast are definitely out there. She was like she did background work. She did not background, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. She did stand-in work for a lot of the actors and stuff like that. So so she would say yes, it's real tense. See, they're just a little obviously the everyday working actor stands to kind of be hurt from this more than any of the other actors. So they're kind of happy
they can't eat.
Right. The other actors standing out there and putting themselves out there kind of helps because it's double-edged, right? But it helps because if the main actors are striking, then the studios are gonna make moves. Right. Because right now, either way, no matter what, the studios they don't believe enough in independent stuff. They everything they're all about recouping their money or getting their money back. So they want to make sure big name actors are in their movies. So if the big name actors, which they are right there ready to strike, all the people that signed the petition or whatever, it will help the other actors, the independent, the everyday working actor, not independent, but the everyday working actor that may do, because you're a working actor if you're a stand-in actor. That's still a working actor because you're there every day, you're getting paid, you're in the union, and that's what it is. People don't realize that. Some people don't look at it as that, but that's what you are. You are a working actor. And usually a stand-in, for people who may not know, it's just someone who's might be like the same build, the same complexion of an actor. And when the the DP or whoever is lighting the set, they're not gonna have the actors stand there while they light it. Actors are in their trailers. Yeah, the actors are in their let me rephrase that. The stars are in their trailers. And the leads and stuff like that. So they pay stand-in actors to stand in for them and get lit.
And also sometimes when the actor does come on set and they're reading lines, they'll have a stand-in.
Stand-in to be there with them to read lines with them, run lines with them while before they start rolling. So they we'll see what happens. But I'm hoping like Ralph said, tomorrow's the deadline. So I think they're gonna strike, but I just don't think they're gonna strike for long. I think they're gonna strike, and because like Kev said, they've been trying to strike for years. So they'd have found one. They'd have found an opportunity, and I mean, let's be honest. And I don't want to go into the rabbit hole of AI, but AI is pretty scary to some people, that are, especially the people that rely on this to feed their family. It's we as all right, we're in the business as well, but we're independent. We as fans of the major Hollywood stuff, we have to be a little. I mean, we don't have to, but in my opinion, I think we should be a little empathetic to how these artists feel, because it's, obviously change doesn't work for everybody, right? Some people, a lot of people look at it as, technology advancement, going to the next level, whatever.
But most of it, but here's the downside to it. Not to cut you off, but they've been dealing with this. In some respects, we've been dealing with the aging and all of that for at least 2 decades now.
Well, yeah, we've been dealing with it for a long time, but this is a difference with us dealing with it from watching it and now it being available to every single person on the internet. That's the difference. Now you're gonna have because what happens is people are jerks. People are they are. People are jerks.
That's fine.
So they're gonna use the technology for stupid things. Perfect example. I get something that comes over the internet. It's just a big why. Guy says, "Oh, I wanted to see what all these superstar NBA players would look like if they were women. So I used AI to change them into women. Here's Steph Curry as a woman.
Do I even care to see that? I mean, frankly.
Exactly. Here's Steph Curry as a woman. Here's LeBron James as a woman. Here's this as a woman. And it's just like, why?
Listen, I told you why off air.
I'm just saying, that stuff is just a real crazy. And that's what I mean by people are jerks. People are idiots. People are a-holes.
But it goes deeper than that. In that respect.
It does. But I'm just saying, even with that being said, with people using, another thing, I saw a clip that came of Obama talking to Biden. And it was a clip with their voices, and they were just talking like real nonsense and slang and cursing and stuff like that. Clearly it wasn't them that said this, but it was their voices, so it sounded like them. And it was you saw the video of them talking, their mouth was moving to match the voice. So you could obviously, if you know half anything about anything, you could tell that it was doctored, it was manufactured. But some people aren't that smart, bro. They really not. Hate to say it. It's just the truth.
He just went out there and just said it like some people are just stupid.
Some people are just stupid.
I'm gonna say I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna say it like this. A bunch of people are just morons. I hate to say it. They're just morons.
Yeah.
They're quick to ask questions about things that's right in front of them. They don't want to, or they feel like they shouldn't ask questions because it hurt their pride. Like, you should automatically know what I'm talking about. And I'll be looking at people like sometimes like,
I think it's going to be, well, what I'm hoping for is that it's just going to be a phase. Like when they were doing people were doing the fake screenshots and making it seem like people were sending text for their iPhone.
That's funny.
And
well, that was what's going to happen is it's available. The technology is available now to anybody and everybody, and now it's about what the artists are worrying about is, it being used to the point where it's just like, come on, man. It'd be basically like the Black Mirror episode of Joy is Awful.
Again, that reach a contract. If you going down that hole, that rabbit hole.
But but even with exactly. So they all had to read a contract moment. Even Selma Hayek with her character. Well, it wasn't her character; it was her. She was they were saying, well, she's like, hey, that's not what I agreed to, and all of this stuff. It's a great it's a great opportunity. People should should watch that. That was a good episode.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, on page 40, here it is, right here. So it ain't my fault. You kept scrolling. And the funny thing is, I did that today at the doctor's office. I had all of this when you do your pre-check-in. They can be re-signed the same forms over and over again.
I know. I hate
and
that.
You just keep scrolling through, but you actually should take the time to read some of that.
You gotta read some of it. Yeah, somewhere in line 58.5 might have said, "Yeah, we could stick a probe up your butt." Without your consent.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yo, what the hell did you just stick a probe up my butt? What did you read the thing that you signed?
Yeah, like it's even, and not to go too far off topic, but the same thing was happening with not eugenics. What was the name of those companies that you give your blood and they supposedly magically can tell you what part of Africa or they tell you what your family lineage is. Yeah, that. Yeah, and people were saying like, yo, when you sign on to those, you're permanently giving them your rights to your DNA. Like from that point forward.
23andMe too saying that.
Yeah.
So 23andMe or Me 23. Yeah. Yeah, you're right to say that. Now, Maddie also said fear of being replaced. That's true. Mm-hmm. Everyone's gonna have that fear at the point, because if you're at the point where Tom, I read that weeks ago, Tom Hanks is contemplating signing over his likeness rights, so when he dies, they could use AI technology to continue to make movies with him, with his likeness, right? And I'm sure Industrial Light and Magic, or Lucasfilm, I should say, has proposed that to some people, probably, or at least put the possibility out there. They did it with James Earl Jones' voice. They already did that.
Yeah, they already did it with him. Yeah,
right. So, I think that yeah, I agree. With Maddie, that's the fear of being replaced. So if you got big names like Tom Hanks that's contemplating that, he didn't say he was definitely going to do it, but he's thinking about it.
It's just like what I talked to you about earlier, with just the fact of Humphrey Bogart showing up in a movie out the blue. Yeah. Like, this dude's been dead forever.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they'll start doing that next, start bringing back whatever, because, and I said once again, Drake went on in a concert, went on stage with a hologram of himself. That's a younger version of him. He sat down next to it, and the hologram handed him a book. Now, this is how good and solid the technology is now being made available. We've already had it, but it's being made available now to people. If you got the money, things, huh?
They never saw a Terminator, huh? Keep messing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, exactly.
They're gonna rise up against you, and your ass gonna be replaced.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Wes, tell them that article you read about they asked AI. Is it ever going to turn against humanity?
Oh, yeah. I was watching that. That was an actual, it wasn't even argument, it was an actual video I was watching that came across, where they were, once again, kind of doing like what I think Sarah Silverman was talking about. They were talking to the AI and trying to see its responses and stuff like that. And one of the questions was, well, are you sure that you're not going to try to rise up against humans? And the AI just gave it the side eye. It rolled its eyes at him.
Wow.
I'm like, that ain't an answer, buddy. That's not an answer. I think it did ask, why would you ask that? Look, don't answer a question with a question, motherfucker. I got the off button right here. Answer my question.
Listen. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. And I don't even think they thought about this when they posed to ask the question. The AI probably wasn't even thinking about that. But now you put the idea in their head.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say, Kev. They just put the idea in their head. It's just like what these I'm not even gonna go off again. I need a soapbox for that. It was just like how that's done today with a lot of these quote unquote therapists and counselors. They doing that to our children too. They're putting ideas into their heads and trying to disguise it as them therapy, giving them therapy by saying, so you feel like killing yourself today? Like, huh? I wasn't thinking about that. Like, yeah, maybe I will now that you brought it up. So yeah, you put it in this idea. But see, the thought of asking it was because you know that the AI it's not supposed to lie, right? It's gonna give you fact. It's gonna give you fact.
But it's not. But yeah, it's gonna give you facts. But at the same time, it's gonna take the data, because whatever you ask it, it's still data for it, and still something for it to contemplate.
Right. So a question is giving it data, exactly. So he should have. And so the moral of that story is you shouldn't even ask him that. You shouldn't even ask the AI that. That's crazy. You're putting that idea into it. So that's that. We'll keep y'all posted on that. So now let's talk about Keke Palmer. And
Jesus Christ.
I have to bring that up. She is an actor. She's a game show host, television personality, as well as a screen personality. Obviously she made some headlines last week or so, whatever it's been, when she went out to the Usher concert, and Usher did what that's his residency. That's the word I was looking for. He's doing his residency in Vegas as he is, and he does what he always does. He pulls people, either pull them on stage or he goes up to them and where they're sitting, especially the ones in the VIP area. And he serenades them. He sings to them. Mostly seems recently he's been singing the song "There Goes My Baby," and he goes around and sings it's his ballad, whatever. So Keke Palmer, she was the one, she was the pick, and he he did what he did. He serenaded her. So, like I said at the top of the show, you got people on the internet and on social media. They're going to always push the buttons. They're gonna always, have something messy to say. So you got all of them as she's dancing with Usher and enjoying herself. You got the cats that are sitting back. Oh yeah, look at that. She got she got a boyfriend. Ain't she a mother?
You gonna let Usher roll up on your girl?
Right? Yo, you like that? Oh man, I wouldn't be like that. I ain't have my girl out there like that. Then you got old in his feelings as dude, whatever his name is, her baby daddy, who responds to that and immediately hits social media talking about, oh, I got morals. This is how I do it. It's disrespectful. Oh, look at what she's wearing. You're a mom. Oh, yeah.
You was at the house when she left.
So I'm like, okay. First off,
please. I've been talking about this thing. I've been talking about this thing always. I'm gonna just say this: this whole thing with Usher and Keke Palmer. Let's be real. First and foremost, Keke Palmer is an entertainer that's been in the public spotlight for a long time, just as Usher is in the spotlight for a long time. He's probably so it wasn't like he walked up to her and she was a stranger. He knew who she was, and people seem to forget the two of them are in the movie Hustlers, where he saw her in a whole lot less than that outfit that she had, which would be the same outfit she would have worn to the BET, the Grammys,
exactly, 100%.
So, and the whole thing that because she's a mom, look, she very well may be a mom, but where does it say moms got to dress up like Ethel from the Lucille Ball show? She's a youthful hot looking mom who is now bigger than what she's ever been in her life because she just had a baby. So she got a little extra curve, she got a little extra ass, a little extra thigh.
She got a mom body now.
She got a body. Let her up because I guarantee you, if that was Kim Kardashian, if it was Cardi B, if it was Megan Thee Stallion, nobody would say anything. Rihanna, nobody would say nothing about it. So why you got to say it because it's Keke Palmer? Stop it.
No, because he got more rules, Ralph. He has more
rules. What
he
more?
said,
If he got more, wait.
Mama.
He went and he had a baby with someone who he's not even, realistically speaking, attached to.
to.
They're just going together, and that's why she dropped his ass. I would have dropped your ass too.
Yeah, here's the deal. He gonna go.
Wait, can I just say one thing before you say that? I just want to say, I want to add on to that, and that's the other problem too, is because not only were they going after Keke Palmer, but they actually were going after Meg Thee Stallion, Janelle Monáe, and with the same bullshit about with Essence Fest. Why they, with the same why are they up there showing their ass, and why did Meg have those girls come up on stage, whatever. Listen,
Well, that's a whole
Janelle
nother conversation.
Janelle Monáe is a whole nother story. I got an opinion about that one.
I mean,
got an opinion about Janelle Monáe.
So the Essence Fest, you play to your audience, right? So for the fact that Megan Thee Stallion brought people up on stage to twerk, she's interacting with her audience. Those women came up there willingly, and they twerked willingly. She didn't make them do anything. She didn't put a gun to none of their heads, and they were her fans, and that's what they did. So, I mean, they were there to see her, right? So, is what it is. Let's not act like. See, I don't like when people go overboard about things, because let's not act like the Essence Festival didn't know who they booked to be on their show. Because let's not act like the Essence Festival has never seen, whoever's running the Essence Festival has never seen a Megan Thee Stallion video, or have never listened to a Megan Thee Stallion song.
I mean, and people are acting like, it's bringing the Essence Festival down. Meanwhile,
if your beef is with the Essence Festival, then don't get at them. Just say, I don't think it should be that way. And that's your opinion. You're entitled to that. But don't go after the artist.
But here's the thing, Wes. What it is the older generation who have been going to Essence since the early 1990s, when it was, when the first bill in the 1990s was Luther Vandross. I think the only three modern acts on there was Boyz II Men. Yeah, Anita Baker was another one.
Yeah.
The only three really
the OJs.
young used to, they were another one that was on there. The youthful acts that were on there was Boyz II Men,
Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown.
No, maybe Bobby Brown. But again, it was only 3 or 4 of the youthful acts that were on there. Now, mind you, there were no hip hop acts on there.
Right. Yeah, there was a hip hop act. I mean, that whole thing, once again, they're gonna play to the audience. They're having the Essence Fest, and let's be honest with it. The Essence Fest there was a lot of people there, but there was also a lot of empty seats there too. Like, people probably bought seats and just didn't show up because they got involved in the festivities during the day. Maybe got drunk, didn't even, or maybe caught them a little something to poke on, and went back to the hotel instead of went to the show. You in New Orleans, right? So it's all that.
And people were getting up and leaving.
Yeah.
For if Meg Thee Stallion ain't your thing, why can't you just do that? And and if you're bringing and this is my biggest problem with this, it's one thing that your kid is listening to it on the radio, then you take them to the show, and all of a sudden now it's like, this is what you're doing? Come on, we leaving. Now you gonna mess the moment up for your kid because you and your feelings.
Well, I mean, that's a conversation we could double back to. I want to finish up the Keke Palmer thing.
Oh, sorry.
I saw something that Maddie put up there. She said, I went through the same thing last year with my baby daddy was mad too. I feel like Keke. All right. Okay. Well, I mean, the thing is this. My point about that situation is this. First of all, dude, I have to speak coming from Team Light Skin. You setting us back, bro. Relax yourself.
Light Skin.
It's like you acting real skin right now, and I'm Team Light Skin. You relax, bro. You're setting us back, man. We was going well. Second of all, why are you putting that out there like that, bro? Wait till she get home. If you really got a problem, and let's call a spade a spade. He had no problem with that dress. What he had a problem with is her being serenaded by Usher, dancing with him, and the so-called reactions of people on the internet. That's what he had a problem with, and that is all he had a problem with. If you did have a problem with that, and let's be honest, Usher wasn't, he didn't do nothing. He wasn't groping her. He didn't grab her ass. He didn't do it. He didn't do nothing inappropriate. They were doing a little slow dance thing while he was serenading her. And then what I don't like about it after that is, okay, he should have just handled his beef with her when she got home, and no one would have knew about anything. You let all those people sit there and go, oh, oh, look at this. Don't you got a baby daddy? Do all of that stuff. All of those trolls or whatever, those troublemakers, just let them do it and don't pay attention to that crap. Deal with that when you get home. Whatever your beef is, I'm not saying you don't have a right to feel how you feel, but whatever beef you have, you deal with that when she gets home. That's the thing. And then I have a part 2 to that. And then what I don't like about it is people are dragging this whole situation by now you making it seem like it's Usher's fault when he's been doing this for 20 years.
He told you. What did he tell y'all?
Yeah, exactly what Charlamagne said. Now Charlamagne did say, "Oh, it's time for Usher." He was kind of joking, but whatever. He's like, "It's time for Usher to take accountability because the nigga told you 20 years ago, don't leave your girl around me. True player for real. That's a nigga for real." Hey, I get it, but let's be honest here. On a real serious note, this is Usher's performance, and he is a true performer. And Usher got no F's to give. Let me tell you something. When it comes to his performances, just like Prince never had it, just like Madonna never had it, just like Janet Jackson never had it. They don't have Rihanna. It doesn't matter. Michael used to sing to the women, and they fall out right there. They didn't even get a chance to get up on stage. Michael comes to their seat and sing to them, and they fall out.
Marvin
Gaye, Teddy Pendergrass. Come on,
you got what I need.
Girls were throwing panties at Teddy Pendergrass, man. Come on. So
Keith Sweat.
Yeah, exactly. Keith Sweat. What she said. Maddie says everybody Usher's wife when he performs. He said everybody's Usher's wife when he performs.
Oh, when he performs, what's new?
And here's the bottom line for Homeboy. Here's the reason why Homeboy is stupid. You got the prize.
Exactly.
You are winning.
She came home to you, bro.
And that was the only post I put on any of those posts. I said, look, let me give you a little advice, light skin. I'd have said nothing. I'd have waited till she got home and I'd have tore that ass up. I'd have ripped that dress off of her and tore that ass up. And then would have been like, okay,
she had baby number 2.
Let me tell you the one issue I had with you. After you don't beat it up, because now she's all receptive to whatever. If you have a feeling about it, you might as well express it. Don't keep it inside. But I'm just saying. I didn't like how he was. I didn't like how he was up on you like that. I'm just saying that was a little something. Or say it while you smacking that ass, hitting it from behind, whatever.
Let no man touch you, woman. My woman.
That's right. You know, and then do like Baby Boy, do the beat it up dance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then say, get in there and make them tacos.
And you gonna go over there and fix me them tacos. Exactly. You gonna fix them fajitas.
That's how a G does it.
I mean, but really the bottom line is what he shouldn't have had was a problem at any point.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say that because everyone has their feelings or whatever.
They do, but here's my thing. If you felt like that from the gate, you watched her leave. Somebody had to babysit.
No, I'm telling you, it's not. It had nothing to do with the outfit, bro. It was everything.
No. It
was Usher.
Yeah, it was the serenade. Yeah. It was, and that's why I'm saying that's the reason why he should have kept his mouth shut. It's a concert, and it was a girls' night out. So if it's a bunch of women out doing, enjoying themselves, it ain't like she. Pardon my French.
Right, she was at Chippendales.
It ain't like she gave a fellatio on stage.
No, he did nothing inappropriate to her.
Well, she might have gave it to him afterwards.
He did nothing inappropriate to her. She did nothing inappropriate as far as that go. He tried, like I said, that was just his play to try to get people on his side, and he did. He did get some people on his side, mostly men. Some women too. I read some comments from some women was like, that is disrespectful. But now you talk about people. Every comment I read were people that were in a marriage or something like that. And they was like,
people, married people talking about single people shouldn't be a thing.
Right.
Just keep your mouth shut.
Keep your mouth shut and go in there and make these tacos.
Exactly. And it's the same thing reversed.
I have a question. Realistically speaking, what makes what Keke Palmer did by being serenaded by Usher and him twirling her around any less worse than that year when Destiny's Child came out there and put Terrence Howard and them three dudes in the chair singing that song "Cater to You"? Right? I mean, was Jay-Z not sitting down there in the front row?
He was right there in the row. He was right there in the crowd. Or even the Sean Paul, even though he was a little tight behind that, Jay-Z put a stop to that. That had never happened again with Sean Paul. Because come on, son, Sean Paul, that dude don't give no F's. He was putting it. Beyonce was throwing that big back at him, and he was like, yes. He was catching it with a catch.
This my shot.
That team light skin. Any dude to be like, nah, B, what you doing? Listen.
It's like that. It's like that. All right.
Yeah.
But
it's a performance.
But for a hot second, the Janelle Monáe thing. You know what I'm gonna say that's different. And I hate to say this about Janelle Monáe, and it's not about her. It's about all you now that's rocking Janelle Monáe. If you all were not rocking with Janelle Monáe when she was coming out in the tuxedos, don't come knocking it down because now she exposing her breasts. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't like that. If you wasn't rocking with her when she was doing tightrope in the tuxedo with the bow tie, don't come down now that she letting the titties fly free. Don't do that.
She only did, and the only thing she did was she did with her album cover.
She's doing shows.
Doing that on her shows now. Yeah, she's pulling, but she's doing that free the nipple hashtag type deal right now. Whatever. That's what she's doing. That's what she's on. That's what she's doing.
Yeah. Now, could someone legitimately say that Janelle Monáe has sold herself out? Because when she was rocking the tuxedo, people really wasn't rocking with it. But now that she's pulling out the nipples, now everybody want to flock her. That's a matter of that's a debatable subject.
That's debatable. If people can debate it, if they want, I mean, that's just like this. That's just the same topic as a lot of things happen that way. And I just like I said, I don't like the artists going after the other artists because these people are who they are, and they were booked by the Essence Festival. The Essence Festival knew who they were when they booked them. So, people like India Irie, who always got something to say, who came out and was going at the artists and stuff like that for doing what they did. It was mostly India Arie that was going at him.
Well,
Another artist going at another artist when it's like, yo, this is what I do. So it's not like I do this and then you bought it. Megan Thee Stallion headline. She was headlining that night. Everyone knows her catalog. That if you're gonna book someone and don't know what's gonna happen, they have sound checks. People, they have rehearsals. There's things that they do on the stage that you know exactly what's gonna happen. Because if you didn't, as a stage producer, manager, or director of the program, if you had no idea what was going to happen, you're setting yourself up for disaster. Now you know that's just like they put an end to that back in the '80s with Madonna, when they didn't know what Madonna was going to do, and she decided to simulate sex on a bed.
That's a different story.
Stage, and people were like, "What the hell?" And she was getting arrested, pulled right off stage. Prince did it years ago too in the '80s. Prince, simulated having a shower in a shower.
Same shit.
I mean, it was Bobby Brown, same thing. They were getting arrested back then. So to put an end to that, you have to turn in, let people know what your show is, what's going to basically happen during your show.
But let's talk about. I mean, and not to skip off of Keke Palmer thing. But I just wanted to make this one note on it on this thing. The essence, people are complaining about Meg Thee Stallion and it was a performance or whatever. But here's the thing. Essence is about empowering women. The whole thing about Essence is about women. Yeah, guys go, whatever the case may be. But the whole thing is about women. Now, for you to sit down and say that, oh, well, Meg Thee Stallion being on stage twerking, how is that empowering? It's not supposed to be empowering. It's a woman doing what she feels that she wants to do. So
it's part of what I said. Why are we surprised? That's my thing. Why is everybody surprised about how she performs? That's how she performs.
But it goes deeper than that, because if it's supposed to be about the empowerment of women, then you're supposed to be empowering this woman. If that's what she does, that's what she does. Mm-hmm. So you know what it is. And everybody trying to say, or not everybody, but people trying to say, well, there's a time and place for everything.
I understand that too, but once again, who are you? They were barking up the wrong tree. You're going after the wrong person, going after the artist, because they don't book themselves. They're booked by the actual program and the venue. And I'll say this in closing: actually, she gave one of the tightest performances of the festival. Honestly, she was clear. She was, she was on point.
She didn't really use a backing track, except for ad-lib.
No, right. She didn't use a backing track, so she was clear. You can understand her. I'm not a fan of Megan Thee Stallion's music, but I respected her performance because it was a solid performance.
Yeah.
Whereas, I said I complained about it. I talked about it. Lauryn Hill, in my opinion, just was a terrible disappointment.
That was
a disappointment.
That's who all y'all need to jump on the thing about complaining. Lauryn Hill.
That was a disappointment. Yeah.
Essence booked her knowing that she was going to be 3 hours late, and you still booked her.
And then you get there and it's like she didn't even sound good. She didn't sound good. Whatever. I mean,
she looked crazy.
She looked crazy. Like I said, she looked like a giant loofah. I was just like,
Wes, wait a minute. Did she or did she not look like a bag lady?
She looked like a giant loofah. That's what the outfit looked like. I could have took her and used her to wring out in the shower and soap up.
You don't know how many times I have seen Lauryn Hill when Pathmark was in South Orange, because she lives in South Orange. You don't know how many times I ever bumped into Lauryn Hill Pathmark, looking through shop, right, and you look at her and you're like, Dan, you feel like you want to give her some money or something. She looked like the L Boogie.
Yeah.
Like,
damn. Listen, I mean, in her, I don't want to say in her defense, the woman been through some stuff. I mean, between the industry and that Marley, just the Marley curse.
I can't even blame the industry. Listen, you got pregnant with your second kid with Marley the same in time you find out that your nanny is pregnant with his kid too, that should have been a telltale sign that no. But what you went and gave him 3 more kids.
Like I said, Ralph, the more
like El Boogie at that point in time couldn't have got somebody else. And then
whether or not she got somebody else, regardless, and I get what you're saying there, but regardless of the fact, whatever happened to her with her music all the way back then, the fact that here you are headlining, and she was just in last year's as a guest. I think she came on Wyclef and all of them, and she was a guest, and she sounded fine. But here she is headlining now, and she sounded terrible. I'm sorry. That was she sounded bad. Even the rap part of it, she wasn't keeping up with the beat and stuff. Even the rap part of it wasn't great. It was mid, but her singing was horrible. And I hate to say that because I'm a big Lauryn Hill fan of her singing, her voice. I always thought her voice was beautiful, and she sounded horrible. And that's what it is. And I'm sorry, you headline in the night. You can't have the people that was up ahead of you sound better than you. One other one that they complain about, Janelle Monáe sounded great. She put on a great performance. Janelle Monáe always puts on a good performance because she knows how to perform. She ain't the biggest dancer. She ain't the biggest this and the other, but she moves around. She's she plays the Prince route. Prince wasn't the best dancer, but Prince knew how to move, and he moved around, and he controlled the stage, and he was all over the place. And he engaged the audience and stuff like that. So she took a page out of his book. So she's a good performer, always have. And she actually kind of, she learned a little bit from Prince. Prince mentored her a little bit. So of course she took a page out of that Prince, performance book. So she's always gonna put on a decent performance no matter what. But Jamie Foxx has finally been seen. He was on a yacht. I don't know why he was on a yacht. They just showed him he was on some yacht. He waved to people. He was chilling, whatever he was bopping, whatever he was doing. And that's that. So people are obviously talking about that because now, like I said, I'm still gonna over here on behalf of the show wish him to continue recovery.
Did he finish his movie?
I don't know. I don't think so because it happened in the middle of the movie. I mean, while he was filming it. So he does have a movie on Netflix coming out that he's been filmed a long time ago. That's the one they cloned Tyrone. That was going to come out. That's with my man from Star Wars, right? What's his name? Black guy from Star Wars. Not Billy.
Yeah. No, I know you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
I can't remember his name, but he's the guy who just said he's never going back to Star Wars.
He's gonna go back to Star Wars because he's racist behind Star Wars fans. So yeah. My only take on this is very, very, very simple. What's it saying? I'm in, my whole thing is this on that. I'm my only take on it. People saying, no. Listen, when Jamie Foxx is ready to, when he's ready to talk about, because Jamie Foxx is a talker. He's a comedian, of course. When he's ready to talk about it, he'll talk about it. He may not be 100% right now to talk about it. You know what I mean? He may not be 100%. And I don't think he is. He was sitting down. He didn't stand up and wave to people. He was sitting down. Like I said, we still don't know officially what happened to him. Everyone has their theories. I have mine. And regardless of the fact of what happened to him, he's obviously not 100% yet. Because if he was 100%, he would have talked about it already. You'd have seen Jamie Foxx pop up somewhere talking ish. That's just how he is. So just continue. It's great to see him alive. It's great to see that he's out and about. And yes, he's probably still recovering. So we wish him the speedy recovery. That dude is a talented soul, talented individual. And we hope that he gets back to full 100% Jamie Foxx mode. That's what we're hoping for. So as far as the my last story we'll touch on, then we'll just go over the midsummer box office, not box office, midsummer movies coming. The last thing I will touch on, where is it? I just had it up here. Now it's down. It was something about oh yeah, that was the whole thing with X-Men. What's her name? Rebecca Romaine, where she just kind of recently talked about she was not happy working with Brett Ratner. And she also talked about but I give her credit for this. This is why I wanted to bring it up. I give her credit on a couple levels. Number one, she did admit that, yeah, he was abusive or whatever she said on set. But she just said, I'm not going to go there and pile on, so to speak, because he's already been canceled. So she was like, so there's no point in me, kicking him while he's down, piling on, whatever you want to call it. He's already been quote unquote canceled for misconduct and the sexual allegations and all that other stuff. She said kind of the same thing about Bryan Singer. She said Bryan Singer just basically, she says, I didn't personally witness anything. No, she said nothing happened to me. Like I didn't experience any bad whatever stuff with Singer. She said I did witness certain things. He was basically, and I'm paraphrasing, she basically was saying he was somewhat of a diva. She's like, and actually she said he often showed up unprepared for the day, for the shoot. But because he's so talented, he'd be able to get through the shoot and still have a good. She's like, for instance, he showed up completely unprepared the day they shot one of the best action sequences in that franchise, and that was in the White House with Nightcrawler in the White House, the opening sequence of X-Men Part 2. Right? So she said he was completely unprepared and a little, he looked like he was a little whatever, this what's the word I'm looking for? Disheveled, this story. Yeah. And he was just unprepared. But because he is talented enough, he got through it and came up with one of the best, action sequences of that series, right? Of that franchise. So that she just kind of, I like how the fact that, okay, you're talking about this, people brought it up to you, you're talking about it, but at the same time, you're not just piling it on and you're not playing the victim. Like she refused to play the victim, so to speak. She just was like, there's a lot of things I could say about both of them. But like I said, all I will say is I've never actually experienced any of that stuff with Bryan Singer. It didn't happen to me, but I do know it happened to other people as far as him being abusive or whatever the case may be.
Look at how fine she is. He's not messing with her. She looks like she's the type that'll fire back if you say something crazy to her.
But Brett Ratner, on the other hand,
I'm sorry, man. I met
have
Rebecca Ramon Stamos, man. That is one of the sexiest women I have ever seen in my life,
bro. She's beautiful. She looked like she was going. When I met her, it looked like she was glowing, bro. I'm like, oh my god, like this is ridiculously fine. But yeah. So I give her credit for that. She didn't say I'm not gonna go all crazy with it and continue to pile it on and dig his body back up and throw dirt on him again. He's already, kind of like canceled. She was talking about Ratner on that aspect. So it's no point in me really going in depth about it. But when they asked her, yeah, well, did you experience any of his so-called sexual advances, abuse, or anything like that? She said, yeah, but I'm not going to go into detail. Yeah. So good with her. Good for her.
It's a shame they can't bring her back as Mystique.
I mean, who knows? But they probably won't. But yeah, she was actually good. To me, she was actually a better Mystique than Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, much better.
She was much better. She fit the role a little better. Jennifer Lawrence, they basically turned the Mystique role into a lead role,
which was never the case.
She was never the case. She was never a X-Men. That's for sure.
And then it took her out of Mystique mode, and then she was just a crybaby. I don't know. That's the Jennifer Lawrence that I don't like.
Right.
I don't think so. In Days of Future Past, she was kind of. I liked her in Days of Future's Past.
I mean, she was okay. She was.
But
I'm not saying that she was good. No, she was good. But I mean, I just think for the part, Rebecca Romijn was better.
Yeah,
I think she played the role better. She played it more to where it should have been. Now, of course, in the comics, Mystique talks a little bit more than what Rebecca Romijn did, but a little bit less than what Jennifer Lawrence did. So
Jennifer Lawrence out here giving whole speeches and monologues. It's like, what the hell? I'm like,
she had real dialogue.
She had given a whole monologue. To be or not to be.
To be. To clone or not to clone?
To clone or not to clone? That is the question.
Crazy, man. Makes no sense.
God. Yeah.
And I love Jennifer Lawrence as an actor. She's a great actor. I love a lot of her movies, but just her latter part of her X-Men, especially in Age of Apocalypse, I had enough. It was just like, okay. Please
I think I think at the last two X, because I think at the second one she didn't want to do it anymore. I think she got tired of the paint.
She said it. She publicly said that she was tired of playing Mystique. She was tired of being doing the makeup, which was why that they showed her a lot more in the later movies. You saw more of her as Jennifer Lawrence instead of Mystique in full blue character.
They were like I said, it was kind of like they did to her. We got Jennifer Lawrence. She at that point she was blowing up. She was getting ready to do the Hunger Games, or even though it didn't come out yet, but you blow up in Hollywood first before you blow up to the public, to the people. The people already talk about you and they're buzzing about you. That's how you continue to get work. Which is what I'm looking to do when I go out to California next month. It's like, I'm going to meet with my manager out there and an agent, and that's the whole thing. You got to go out there and talk and meet people, and they got to kind of hobnob. You got to hobnob. People got to know exactly who you are, at least they can put a face to the name. So when my agent comes back and says, yeah, Wes Clark is the director, they're not saying who the F is Wes Clark. Who is he? Oh, it's that guy you met last month. Blah, blah. Oh yeah, I like him. Give him the job. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it works in Hollywood. So her name was buzzing in Hollywood before those movies even came out. So they were like, we got to make sure she's got a whole lead trilogy coming out. We got to make sure she gets a good role, and she's got to have camera time and more lines, and it's got to be more significant. So make her something else.
Poor Halle Berry just got.
That was because of Singer.
Halle Berry just got the.
But as you notice, when Ratner took over, she had more lines. She had more of authority when Ratner took over because Singer, that was Singer's call, making her the way she was.
Again, and with the no comic books on set, you couldn't really know what, because really at the point when Storm became leader, they were two separate. Actually, they were like 4 separate teams of the X-Men at one point, because there were 4 separate comics. Well, actually 6 if you include Excalibur and X-Force, which was New Mutants. But Storm was the team leader of the X-Men. Cyclops was the team of Uncanny X-Men. Scott was a team of X Factor. And and that's another thing too. I know we got to talk about. So I don't
right.
But, I hate what they did with Havoc, man. They totally ruined.
I mean, but once
man.
again, that all can be redeemed in the MCU. So we'll figure it out. Speaking of X-Men, Deadpool 3 has a shot of Wolverine, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in the actual comic accurate suit. One of them. This is the more yellow one. You got the one that's like a goldish one with brown trim. That's the one, kind of like, I think this one was first though. This yellow one.
Yeah, the yellow one with the black,
with
the
black
tiger stripes around the side.
That's the original first one that you saw Wolverine wearing. So he's got that. I'm wondering if they're going to show him in both. You know what I mean? Like, because we know that there's going to be some time jumping going around. This is going to be, if
he shows up in that brown one with the black eyes, I don't even know how would they
even though I love this, see the suit, I want to see him with the mask on. I think they do have it. I'm pretty sure they're going to have him with the mask as well. They're just not giving that away. At some point he's gonna have the mask with the, man. And that's
did you guys ever seen that meme about the Wolverine mask that it looks like two Batmans?
Two Batmans kissing.
I can't see it.
Yo, I couldn't unsee that either. After they showed me that, they were like, don't his mask
it does look like two Batmans.
It does look like two Batmans kissing. That's what it looks like. It's like they're facing each other. It's like two Batmans facing each other and touching there. And next thing you know, So that's pretty fun. But yeah, comic accurate and all that. So let's get to the summer movies before we wrap up for the night. Midsummer, I should say. Summer has started and we've seen the movies. Let's get that out of here.
I can speak on while you're getting it together. I could speak on one. I saw Insidious today, and I thought it was quite pleasant. They could have saved that one for that one would have played better, just like The Nun. It would have played better on
in the fall
on TV.
Oh, on TV. Okay.
Yeah, than in the theater.
It's funny that that they put out horror movies don't always come out in the summertime, which is really
over the last couple of years that's what they've been doing with Blumhouse.
Yeah. Speaking of Blumhouse, they're killing it right now. But I've been seeing a lot of speaking of horror films. I've been seeing a lot of it's a lot of vampire Dracula films that's being developed, redeveloped, and stuff like that, bro. It's really crazy. Like we know we got the last Voyage of the Demeter, which is coming out in August, I think. Yeah, and
that look good. I want to see that. That look real good.
I got goosebumps right now.
Remember James Wan is doing Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
And then you got just recently there's a Nosferatu movie that's got a pretty all-star cast in it. like the cast in it is pretty good, and I'm like, oh man, like this is I mean, all star, yeah, kind of. You have Willem Dafoe is in it, Nicholas Hoult,
Oh, it's a wrap. It's a
um,
wrap.
Lily Rose Depp. You have Bill Skarsgård, who is Nosferatu. He's Count Orlov. Aaron Taylor Johnson. I'm assuming he's playing like the Harker type of character.
Yeah.
Probably. He's Frederick Harding. Yeah. So you got him. Then you have people. Yeah, man. This looks kind of crazy right here. Robert Eggers is writing it and directing it. And he's got a lot of crazy stuff on this belt. But yeah, it's looking
Now the thing with James Wan, is that in development or that's in production right now?
I want to say it's in production and or maybe even it might even be in post. Let me see. The Salem's Lot, the new, or maybe it's in development. Let's see. Salem's Lot, which it was done quite a bit of times. Can we find the new Salem's Lot? Yeah, it must be in development because it's not coming up as a finish.
That's definitely in development.
So he's in development with it. James.
I hope and listen. I hope and listen. I know he's not listening to this, but on the off chance that he is, listen, James. I need you to start getting back in the director's chair on some of these.
I think he is. I think he is directing that one. Let me see. As a director, he's got. Let's see. I mean, maybe he's not. He might be just producing it. Let's see.
Yeah. He's been doing that a lot. Like that's the kind of director he is. He only directs stuff when he has the. He's like Sade. Like he's the Sade of directors.
Yeah.
Like he only does stuff when he has something to say. And it's weird. Like he only did the first two Conjuring, and then he's like, okay, I'm done. On to the next thing, and and then he doesn't direct the rest of them. He'll produce them. He'll be a producer for them, but he doesn't direct them.
He's producing this one. Yeah, this is Gary Dauberman who's directing it. So he's producing it. Gary Dauberman is the director of it. He was a writer for it. He's more of a writer, but he's directing it. Annabelle, he's a writer for Annabelle. He wrote The Nun. He wrote The Dark Side. What else did he write? So he's mostly a writer. I don't know what directing he has under this belt. He only has one directing under his belt. That was Annabelle Comes Home.
Oh, that was actually good.
He directed that. This guy who's going to be directing Salem's Lot, and he wrote all of those other ones that I mentioned. Annabelle. He wrote Annabelle. He wrote The Nun. He wrote It. He wrote Swamp Thing. Interesting. Televised. Yeah. Developed by. That's the credit he got for that. He wrote both chapters of the Cabin House, The Dark Side, upcoming writers, The Nun 2, Salem's Lot, The Last Train in New York. Yeah, so he's definitely a horror guy. So that's good. That's promising.
It is, but I need James Gunn to get back on the director's chair. He just,
I mean, not James Gunn. You mean Wan? James Wan.
I mean James Wan.
I was like James Gunn is getting the director's chair. There's a new Superman cartoon, actually. It's called My Adventures with Superman. It's actually pretty cool looking so far. I've only seen like 2 episodes of it. It just came out on HBO Max. It's a series, and it's they're drawn a little different. It's almost like anime type of drawing of them, of like Superman, Lois, and Jimmy and stuff like that. It looks pretty interesting. So yeah, it seems like, you know how DC always subliminally throws out stuff to try to see how people respond to it. Because I'm not saying that James Gunn is going to do something like this, but he just might, only because the character in this is like a younger Superman. You know, it's like, so he's like whatever. But yeah, I was watching that and I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm going on
Superman.
record to say I don't care what they do.
Yeah.
If Henry Cavill is not back as Superman, it makes never mind for me. I do not care. You will not get a single dime from me. The only thing I'm paying for is those Batman movies. I'll continue to pay for those Batman movies because the directors that did the Batman movies, they did a damn good job, and I will stick to it. But James Gunn, I'm not. Listen, they did, and anyway, like I said,
yeah, that's
they
right.
did them wrong.
Heather Hollywood said about Bryan Singer when we were talking about that. He said, yeah, Bryan Singer and Halle Berry never got along. She said one time about him, he can kiss her black ass. She said that to her. Yeah, they did never get along. And to add on to that, the fact that, you know, he told her and Hugh Jackman, no comic books on set. Her and Hugh Jackman was going behind his back and looking at comics anyway. They were reading comics as their research, as they should be. As an actor, you should do your research. But he forbid
the balls on an individual to look at somebody's work and to say, disregard all of that.
Well, that's just all ego. You know, I'm gonna do it my way, and I want to do it this way. I mean, yes, I'm not taking away from his abilities and his skills. Yes, you're a very good director, but it has nothing to do with this, right? And you know, it's not like the movies were garbage, but I'm just saying, and even for its time, you know, they were pretty cool, you know. But you know, it got so many holes. It could have been way better. It got so many holes poked in it. But guess this. This is all I'll say about Bryan Singer, and I'll leave it alone. We should all thank Bryan Singer, and I'll tell you why. Because without Bryan Singer being Bryan Singer and doing the Bryan Singer things, we may not have had Kevin Feige.
Oh, this is true.
So, thank you, Bryan Singer, for being an a-hole, for being a pompous prick, and for being, you know, an arrogant little bastard.
Egotistical
bastard. Thank you for doing that. Because it showed our Kevin Feige, our beloved Kevin Feige, this is the way. It showed him the way.
And I want to say something about something an article that I started to read, and then I just said, you know what? I'm not reading this trash. There was an article today that came up on Google that said Marvel has forgotten its way on how it got to where it is.
Yeah, well, they're probably just saying that because they don't, you know, people don't want to talk about the new directions that they're going in. So let's run in this movies down. So you talked about that. Obviously tomorrow, Mission Impossible 7 starts. Which was is it Ghost Protocol? Dead Reckoning, that's the one. Dead Reckoning part 1. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 begins tomorrow. So that's obviously going to be one of the last big ones of the first quarter of the summer or whatever. First half of the summer, I should say. Then we have
the next weekend. I think the next weekend, Barbie or Oppenheimer. I just think both of those are gonna like crush it. I really do. Barbie get nostalgia, but I think because I'm gonna go see Transformers today. Okay, but I'm liking Oppenheimer more and more every time I see the trailer.
The trailer, yeah. I saw the trailer for Barbie. It looks cute. It looks kind of funny or whatever. I have no intentions on seeing it, but
I do.
it
Margot
looks.
I
Robbie.
do.
Yeah, but I feel a little weird going to look at Margot Robbie at a Barbie movie and to
I
go
don't.
lust over her because that's what I'd be doing. I'm just speaking for myself.
And
I'd be going there to
hey,
lust over
hey,
her in a theater
hey,
full of
I think
kids
we
that's
all
gonna
gonna
be
go.
watching
I
the
think we're
Barbie
all gonna go
movie.
to that. That's a matinee
Right.
show. You go and you lust over Margot Robbie because like shit, I
Yeah,
would.
but I mean, it's
I
gonna.
ain't gonna.
But to me, it just from what it looks like, it ain't even gonna be a real way. I don't know. I ain't gonna ready to really lust over her. 'Cause it's gonna be some, crazy, campy Barbie shit. Yeah, whatever. But I'm not going to see that. But Oppenheimer looks pretty good. Um, so they'll both come in the next weekend. Haunted Mansion comes in theaters on July 28th. Let's see. In August 4th, we jump to that. You got the Meg 2, The Trench.
Yeah,
That's
I
gonna be a
can't wait
big
for
one.
that.
That's
Love the first
that's
one.
right. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I wonder how that's gonna do. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's the Seth Rogen one.
Yeah.
It looks
Interesting.
like Spider-Man. It looks like
It
Spider-Man.
looks kind of like that. Yeah.
I'm not interested.
It
I'm
looks
not
kind of
interested.
like that. What else we got? They've been promoting this Gran Turismo film pretty much.
I am not going to go see that film.
What, the Gran Turismo?
Yeah, I'm, and maybe it's wrong for me to boycott the film. I don't care. I am tired of Hollywood. And listen, no offense to Team Light Skin. Yeah, y'all my people. Yeah, y'all still down. But the guy who actually did it is like my complexion.
Mm-hmm.
And you go and get this Indian looking kid, or not even, he looks like he's Egyptian or Lebanese or something. But he's not. He's not. And I hate calling us black because we're not black. But he's not brown like us.
Mm-hmm.
That like it's not
right. Well, yeah.
Well,
that's the classic. They do that. That's what happens. That's what a lot of people talk about when it comes to it's their way of whitewashing without using a white person.
Yeah, and the sad part is they got promotional stuff with the real guy who did it,
the real guy,
and the actor, and it's like, damn.
Yeah, he was on set. He was like he was on set a lot too. I don't know if he was a consultant or they just let him be on set, a lot during the filming and stuff like that. So he's really tied to the film. So you'll see him. He'll get his shine at least because you'll see him walk the red carpet and stuff like that when they premiere it.
But meanwhile, old boy is his dad in the movie.
Yeah.
Dark in the dark. I mean, suit and dark.
Yeah.
But just anyway.
Okay, Blue Beetle comes out August 18th.
Oh yes, can't wait for that.
So that'd be cool. Once again, I have to say, I'm going to say this. I said it on the thread.
Sorry,
I think it's going to suffer the same fate as the other films before it because of the actions of James Gunn. I feel that James Gunn coming out and putting his whole plan on the table of this DCU that's not going to pretty much include any of these other movies that are coming out or the characters. It's going to, that's a main reason why these movies suffered. Now, take away the Ezra Miller factor. One of the main reasons why the Flash suffered was one of them, because no one wants to invest in a movie that is just going to come and be a one-off when they know that it shouldn't be a one-off. But it's going to be a one-off because there's no future for it in the DCU. So it's kind of like the same thing with this. I don't think it's going to do as bad as the Flash, but because they put an extra mustard on the hot dog with that because Ezra Miller, mainly because of Ezra Miller. But I think it's going to suffer the same fate, and unfortunately, so will Aquaman. They're going to suffer the same fate of, hey, this is a dead end. Nothing's going to happen to these films. What the hell am I watching it for? I'll wait till it comes on streaming. So that's James Gunn's fault. I hate to say it, I have to say it. It's the truth. That's his fault. He should have waited. You don't have to talk about it right away. But of course, he's there, and everyone was pushing for it, and he's very engaging with the audience, and everyone's like, "Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? 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 What are you gonna do?" So he decided, okay, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. But he pretty much killed it for. He should have at least left. What's the word? He should have left it a mystery of what's exactly. That's better than just basically putting your whole slate out there, and there's nowhere the Flash is even mentioned, or Blue Beetle for that matter. So, but of course, I'll be there. I'm gonna check it out. It looks cool. And he's a character that's a very powerful character, actually. In the DC universe. Very powerful character. Should be fun.
That movie got a lot of roadblocks in its way, and I hate to say it, but beyond James Gunn, I think the second thing that I don't think a lot of people talk about is that it's a Spanish-led movie, and realistically speaking, you want to talk about
Mexican, not even Spanish. Mexican.
We'll go with Latino. But if you want to talk about how women
Mexican,
all right, Mexican. But if you want to talk about how when they feel like women can't open a movie, I mean, except for Antonio Banderas, who except with the Spy Kid movies, who else shot? Yeah. I think that's like, and the
they
fact
didn't
that
even cast a Mexican to play Selena.
Yeah,
they cast Jennifer Lopez.
They cast Puerto Rican.
Right. That's what I'm saying. With the exception of Antonio Banderas, between the first Zorro movie and the Spy Kid movies, we'll give you Spy Kids because it's a kid.
Who else? Hold on, Ralph. I got to give you an asterisk. On that, because Antonio Banderas technically, technically, Antonio Banderas is not Latino. He's a Spaniard because he's from Spain.
He's from Spain. Well,
okay. Wow, but once again, we're trying to dumb this down for the moviegoing audience. They'll just say Latino.
Yeah.
Right. But beyond Antonio Banderas, who else does the Latino community had to sit and say, "Oh my God, I gotta go see it," because this, like, Javier Bardem is always in a supporting role. Benicio del Toro supporting role.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez, unless she wears something that's like super tight on her ass, cut it. So who you got left?
I mean, Oscar Isaacs is probably the closest to somewhat of a lead guy.
But if I would see him, I wouldn't think anything Latino, because I mean I didn't know he was Latino until I read about it. I was like, really? So
Benicio del Toro. Benicio del Toro. He led the two Sicario movies. He was a lead.
Yeah, but they're not.
He had a strong supporting cast.
Yeah.
And he doesn't lead. He doesn't lead that.
Right. Well, to your point, Ralph. Yeah, it's very. You're hard pressed to find anybody. I mean, that's in there. So, yeah, they got a lot stacked against them.
And they got George Lopez.
I saw something with George Lopez last night. See it, and I, if you guys watch this on CNN, it's called. They're doing this special thing. It's called TV. How Situation Comics created TV.
Yeah.
And George Lopez he was like, in the history of television, you had what's his name, Ricky Ricardo, that was on I Love Lucy. Then you had Freddie Prinze Jr., who was the second guy on his show, and then you had the George Lopez show. And guess my name is George Lopez, and I just thought in that line he just killed it. He was like, damn.
Yeah.
And he said that it wasn't a show about the traditional American family, because you have a father who has problems, whose wife feels that he's not the man he could be, whose mother hates him, who doesn't do well with his kids, but he said, but I got 6 seasons out of that show. I got 102 episodes out of that. And I had to admit, I had never seen the Lopez show one night on like 3
Which one?
o'clock in the morning.
The new one? Or
the original
the old one? The original one.
The old one was funny.
That was a great show.
I saw it until one night I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was on Channel 11 at the episode of Star Trek. And I was trying to go to sleep, and shit could come to me, and I was like, "Hold up, what is this?" And I watched it. It has some of the loudest laughs I have ever had off of a TV show.
Yeah, it's really, really funny. I love that show. That was one of those shows when I used to work at an overnight job. Remember, I told you how I used to watch all of the Three's Company shows that it came on at TV Land and all that stuff. Same thing with that. George Lopez was one of those shows that came on at 3, 4 in the morning, repeats of it, of course, syndicated, and I'd watch it. And that show was masterful, in my opinion. He was great,
and his show was syndicated while he was still running original episodes.
Original runs, yeah. I mean, think about this. Like basically what he said. That's a flex, to be honest with you. That's a nice flex.
That's a big flex.
That's a big flex. He is. He's George Lopez. Every single person in that show, main characters, were unknown actors. Really, like they were not like known actors,
except for the mom. I think.
Well,
I didn't know who the mom was.
I've never seen her before that, but. You know, he would carry, and surprisingly, I've learned later in life that Sandra Bullock is an executive producer of that show. She's one of the executive producers of that show. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But he'd periodically bring in people like Andy Garcia a couple times, and
Sandra Bullock was in the show.
Sandra Bullock, because she was one of the executive producers. She was in the
and she was a scream. He was the scream.
Yeah. She would come in on a couple of them. Also Rita Moreno came in a couple times, I think. So like he started getting cameos, but he carried that show with an unknown cast, and that show was funny. As a matter of fact, the little daughter, I used to want to wring her neck. She reminded me some of her mouth. She reminded me of my old daughter. I said, I'm about to wring her neck, Yeah, she was reckless. But it was funny though. It was, and then I mean his relationship with the mother, that was just hilarious. Like, his mom was just like, But yeah, you gotta give George Lopez credit where credit's due. But I agree with you 100%, Ralph. You are hard pressed to find a main Latino actor of any sort of Latin descent that are leading ladies or men, as far as other than Jennifer Lopez for the ladies. You're hard pressed to find any others.
And unfortunately, and I kind of sort of hate to say this, but I'm going to say this because it's kind of sort of true. It's almost because I'm not familiar with the character, so I don't know if he's Mexican in the comic. But
he is. Jaime Reyes is Mexican, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So then it's authentic as far as being comic book accurate as far as the character's concerned. But at the same time, unfortunately, outside of Marvel, everybody who seems to be doing something with Mexicans or with Latino people, with Southern American people, seem like they're being what's the word I'm looking for? It's not authentic. It's not. It doesn't feel. And hopefully, Blue Beetle will break that mold.
It looks like it, from the trailer. It looks like it is. Like that family seems like because George Lopez is involved, he was probably that step
of office.
Yeah, exactly. The person who like the damn, why am I losing my words right now?
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
You know what I
helps
mean.
tie the script together,
right, exactly.
to make everything seem more authentic as
Yeah.
far as how the family looks and the family
Consultant, whatever you want to
dynamic.
call it. Yeah, right. Because I'm sure he had a lot of influence
Say so.
on
Yeah.
that. Yeah, whether say so, but influence at least. Because hey, he was successful at it. What Ralph just pointed out. Yo, you gonna get somebody to do that to be the Latin, not even Latin American, Mexican American family. Let George Lopez kind of give us our technical advisor was the word I was looking for. Be kind of like that technical advisor when it came to that. So I think they will. I think they will do that, but we'll see, and we'll just run the last few down for the summer.
It looks fun. I'm not that big on it, but it looks fun. It looks like gonna be a fun.
Looks like a fun movie.
Dog day of summer movie. 96 degrees outside. Let me go see.
Mm-hmm. Let's go check that out. Right.
It might be a riot.
It might be. We'll see. But it does have the chips stacked against them. And then of course we have right on the end of summer going into the beginning of fall, The Equalizer 3 in September, Labor Day weekend. The Equalizer 3 will be coming out. There's other movies in here that I kind of jumped over, but yeah.
Jump over them, just mention them.
Nah. Well, I said Gran Turismo. I'm like, nah. Gran Turismo. We already mentioned The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which is August 11th. I am there. I'm so there. That movie, you are everyone. Most people who know me know that I am a big Dracula fan. I love it when it's told authentically. I always say that. The reason why I'm like a broken record when it comes to me reading the book Dracula, because I don't like to read. So the fact that I actually read that big behind novel, Dracula,
that was a big book.
It was a big book.
I'm reading a book right now. I'm reading a horror book right now. I'm reading the biography of Elvira. Interesting book so far.
Okay.
She was banging Tom Jones. It sounded like he was doing it well. Sounds like he was doing it well too.
Hey. It's unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was probably I'm sure he was. But yeah, so that's pretty much, the stop. Next week we'll talk about Dead Reckoning, we'll go check it out and have some words about it. It's only part 1, people. So don't remember that. Don't go in there and be like me when I went into the Spider-Verse, forgot that they had a part 2. I was tight. I was like, what the hell's going on? I was looking at my watch like, yo, it's been like over 2 hours and this movie does not look like it's gonna end anytime soon. Then I got kind of hit. But yeah, check that out. What do you think? Let's see. Ralph thinks that Barbie and Oppenheimer will really kill. They're gonna do their thing. I can see that. I can see that happening. Well, number one, let's keep it real. We gotta talk about those deranged lunatics, fans of Nicki Minaj, because Nicki Minaj is attached to this film. I don't think she's in it. She may have a cameo or something, maybe, but
I think she's on the soundtrack.
Yeah, she's definitely on the soundtrack. And her fan base call themselves the Barbs. So her fan base alone is going to probably flood this movie and flood the soundtrack and whatever just to show support. And God, I don't say God forbid, but don't let Nicki Minaj have a cameo or something in it. Oh my God.
It's over.
It's a wrap. Yeah. So I can see that doing well. Oppenheimer, I guess so. I'm on the fence with that one. It all depends on exactly. No, what I mean is, it all depends on what the overall message of it will be. If it's anything about, because America don't like to hear about when America f's up. So if it goes that route, which it looks like
if that's the case, we we shouldn't have got no movies about the Vietnam conflict if that's the case.
But,
I mean,
well, no, but I see what Wes is talking about. If they're just sticking with the creation of the atom bomb,
right? Exactly.
Then,
the creation of whatever. But if they go, they remember there was one or two lines in that trailer that made you think, they might be going in. They might. He says something like you congratulations, like you've given them the tools to kill themselves or something like that. He says,
to destroy the world,
each other
whatever.
or destroy themselves. Yeah. And if they it depends on how deep they go into that.
But I mean, if people really understood the history of that, they would know that Russia and was on the brink of becoming nuclear, and they just happened to pull dude when they ransacked Germany. They got Homeboy to come on their team.
Yeah.
And
that's a nice way of saying it. They got him to come on their team.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's not forget, like Shannon Sharp said so brilliantly, let's not forget what America is built on. With raping and pillaging and plundering and killing.
Unfortunately, I mean, you could scream Pearl Harbor all you want to. Well, it's not Pearl Harbor, blah blah blah, whatever. It wasn't necessary. It was overkill. What they did was it's like when you knock the bully on you trip the bully up. You do a leg sweep and you trip the bully up, and the bully falls. And then you climb on top of him and you just start punching him in the face for like 5 minutes. It's overkill. Like you leg swept them, you embarrassed them, you knocked them down,
and you set them back for decades.
Listen,
but you set them back for a long time. But we won't get into that. Yeah, that's a whole nother story for another show. But anyhow, we'll talk about that when the movie comes out.
Yeah, I just Oppenheimer is gonna be so good.
No, I don't doubt it's gonna be a good film. Nolan puts.
I don't doubt Nolan,
and don't be surprised if. Shout out to Full Sail graduate Gary Rizzo. He's always usually in the sound department, and I know he's on this film too. He always works on Nolan films because Nolan loves him, and he has two Oscars already with Nolan films for sound design or sound mixing, whatever it was.
This might be a third.
This could be a third because the sound is going to be crazy in this. So he has a Oscar for Inception, and he has an Oscar for Dunkirk. So
and they shot this with IMAX cameras.
Yeah, so that's gonna be nice. I'm gonna definitely see that in the IMAX.
You gotta have the mushroom cloud in IMAX.
That's gonna look ridiculous. So I'm interested. I'm interested in definitely seeing that. And that's it, man. I mean, we'll get back at y'all next week when we talk a little bit about Dead Reckoning. How do you think right now that Dead Reckoning is actually, I always mention the critics, but I don't give a damn about them. But it's kind of like very high rated so far with the critics. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I go into all of these. I love them. I pretty much love them all because I go into them. These are popcorn and soda movies to me. That's just like, but rest in peace, Mike Newton. He used to always say that. This is a popcorn and soda movie, man. Like, you go in there, sit down, enjoy the ride. It's going to be crazy because Tom Cruise does what he does when he does it. So I can't wait. I like watching Mission Impossible movies just for the fact that I know that Tom Cruise did the stunts, and I think it's very interesting to see. So Yeah, we'll see. Is it gonna be? You know, I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll do well
I
though.
think the cruise missile keeps going.
It's gonna keep going.
The cruise missile
think it
keeps
will.
going.
Listen,
It ain't stopping.
Oh, it ain't stopping no
listen,
time soon. And plus, Tom
listen.
Cruise, you gotta remember, he's also won over, even though he's never declared war on the comic films or anything like that, but he's won over the people that are tired of comic films, that have this quote unquote comic book fatigue, and the ones that's just mad, that's just butthurt that they were making all the money. He won all of those people over. So he's got a whole tribe of people that's gonna go see his movies regardless, just to be saying, I just want to go see something other than a comic movie.
but not only that, when has Tom Cruise ever did a bad movie?
Not really. I don't really. Not too many.
Yeah,
I can't really.
Very few.
Very few.
He may have been in a bad movie, but
right.
Did Tom Cruise suck in the movie?
No, he's never sucked in
the Mummy. Oh, I forgot the Mummy.
That was probably his worst movie. That might have been his worst movie to date. That remake of the Mummy. That was dumb. Yeah. That one was dumb. That they dropped the ball. You know, Universal crapped the bed on that one. And they had that whole, it could have been so much better. Like that whole monster universe that they had planned. It looked great on paper. It looked great on paper. You got Tom Cruise, you got Johnny Depp, you got Russell Crowe, you got, different people that's a part of this universe.
Even with that one,
look great.
I would still say, but was Tom Cruise bad in it?
I'm not gonna say he was bad in it. It was a bad movie.
It was just the movie was
I'm just saying that was his probably to date one of his worst movies. But no, he's never gonna be bad in a movie. He's a good actor. He puts his all into it. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, he really tried with that one. I mean,
yeah, he tried. He tried to save it.
He tried.
The script was bad. It was just not a good thing. The CGI wasn't all that good. I'm like, how you come out 10 years later than the original Mummy and your CGI is worse? I don't understand.
But you know where they screwed up at? What Universal did wrong was when they started out doing their monster thing, they should have stayed on track with the Dracula movie and the Frankenstein movie. The two movies they did. That I forgot what the name of that Frankenstein movie was.
Yeah,
the guy that played Harvey Dent.
Yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Those two were. Why is that?
Was it I Frankenstein or was it just the Frankenstein one? There was two of them. Might have been I Frankenstein, maybe. But yeah, like I said, they to me they went about a lot. They should have stayed on that. I agree with you, Kev. And I'm just trying to wrap this up so we can get off here. So, they definitely should have stayed on that. They, like I said, on paper it looked great, man. You got Johnny Depp, you got Tom Cruise, you got Russell Crowe, and there was another couple of big names in there. I'm like, this looks really interesting. How they're gonna do this? And what happens? They just kind of crap the bed all together on that. So they could have did better with that. Hopefully they can come back around and do something better. Because these are classic, monster movies. These are classics.
Well,
these are classic characters.
Hopefully with this round of vampire movies that are coming up.
Yeah, because the last voyage of the Demeter, I don't give a F what anybody says. That is going to be a good movie because it's perfect. This is based on one chapter, people. One chapter of Bram Stoker's Dracula. One. And they made a whole movie about it.
And how horrifying can it be to be on an old ship like that? Hell,
in the middle of an angry ocean storm.
Jesus Christ, with a vampire.
With the vampire. With the vampire. Dracula. So let's see how that goes, man. So shout out to everybody who came through the chat room. Maddie, thank you for coming through. Joseph, come on back, Joseph. Don't give up on us. Hope everything's good with you. Heaven Hollywood popped in for a hot second. Geekcaster, aka 7, come through next time again. Thank you for coming through. And everybody else, man, who joined us, and everybody else that will be seeing us. Don't forget, smash the like button when you come in. make sure you subscribe to this channel.
Like and subscribe.
Yes,
Like and
and
subscribe.
share it with your friends. Coming up, I think we have a guest next week. And then there's a couple other things coming up. We'll have some more guests. Also, the 30th of this month will be the virtual meet and greet for the cast and crew of Groupie. And that will be held right here on the IE network, moderated by a young lady, Miss Nairi, who is she has her own show called The Rap with Ree. She'll be moderating, asking questions, doing Q&A, and there's a lot of giveaways we'll be giving away that day based on trivia. So stay tuned. We'll be dropping videos from myself, videos from the cast. That's gonna drop hints for you to go and rewatch. If you watched it, rewatch it. If you haven't watched it, go watch it and get the answers to the trivia. We'll be giving out a lot of prizes. So as the weeks go on, we'll talk about that a little more. So that's it, people. You guys have stay safe. Have a good one. We're gonna go enjoy Dead Reckoning. Everybody enjoy Dead Reckoning Part 1 when it comes out, starting tomorrow and all throughout the week.
It actually started today.
Right, and all throughout the week.
I'm gonna go ahead and have my birthday cookie. That's what I'm gonna do.
Where?
And,
your birthday cookie?
Yeah. No cake, just a cookie.
Just a cookie? Is it a big cookie at least? Happy birthday.
No, it's a homemade cookie. It's a red velvet cake cookie.
Oh, okay.
Like, all right, try it.
Sounds good. Enjoy, brother, and happy birthday to you.
Those come out good if you know how to cook them right. I've made a couple myself. But I just want to say this before we get off the air.
I'm try it. We're gonna see what's up.
Some by night.
Oh Lord.
Some fly by day. Moonlight stranger.
Oh, Lord. Good night, people.